Hi guys. Today I want to talk to you about how I'm currently working on, as of when this video is being shot, I'm working on a pilot episode for my book series. Now, when I say pilot episode, it's not because anyone's offered to pay me money to do it. I think they call it a spec script when, you haven't been actually asked to or anything like that. I just kind of am playing around with the idea. It's still sort of new, the whole script writing thing. It's a different process, very different. It's more difficult than writing a book. I will tell you that. And you have to think of things so vastly different. And I guess that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today. I just what I'm learning from doing this process. I mean, I started out, I didn't have a clue how to write a screenplay. Not a clue. And I started to watch some different videos online. One of them was Word Dancer. She's here on YouTube. You gotta look her up. I might add the link to the bottom of this video. She's really cool. I learned so much from her. There's so much packed in her videos. And if you want to be a writer at all, there's a lot of information. I mean, she just... there's so much. She's fantastic. And one of the best pieces of advice she actually gives is to read some scripts that are out there, some screenplays. And if you do that, then you kind of see how they flow. And it's really good advice. You got to do it if this is something you're even thinking of. For me, I read a bunch of pilot episodes, and I chose different kinds of shows that stood out to me. Maybe not like, oh, I want to do a show like that. No, not in that kind of context. Sort of like, that really stood out to me. That was a really cool episode. I'm going to check that out. And it was shows that I watched all the time, and I really love shows like, I always talk about Ray Donovan, but I love Ray Donovan. He's so awesome. Sopranos, of course. Even shows like Arrested Development, which you think that doesn't kind of at all hook up to what I do. But there is sort of anything that's satire, or any shows with dark humor. Not that I would necessarily say they have dark humor, but it's satire, which sort of looks at the world and gives you something to ponder, maybe some reflections on what's going on in the world or how people are. I think, everything adds. There's a certain element that's I can kind of take from it. Anyways, I read a bunch of pilot episodes. I started kind of working on my script. It's been a very slow process. I work on it a little bit here and there. I go back and I change things, but I kind of am into the flow. And one thing I did notice that is very big is that when you're writing something like this, especially a pilot episode, you have to really grab people by the throat. And I know that sounds very dramatic, but when you have a book, and kind of smoothly ease into it sometimes, a little bit, not too much. I don't believe in doing that too much, but you'll see that with a lot of authors where you're kind of like gently pulled into the book, but you can't do that when you're writing something like a pilot episode. You have to grab people. There's so many shows on right now, and they're very similar to maybe what I'm doing. I shouldn't say very similar, kind of similar. A lot of violence and all that, but a little bit different. And so I had to really work hard to, first of all, show who my character was, the protagonist, George Hernandez, who he was. I had to right off the bat show how powerful he was, how intimidating he was to other people. Then I had to kind of show a bit of a softer side, just to show you there's a vulnerability there that people can connect with. And then I had to kind of show a bit of an adventure, and that's what I'm working on now, trying to. And this is something that's not in the books. It's mentioned in the books. Something that Paige is doing when he first meets her, something that she has to take care of. And then I kind of make reference to the fact that she did, and because it's kind of more focused just on what he's doing and his perspective in the book. Whereas something like this, you have to have a lot of action. You have to have a lot of things that kind of keep people at the edge of their seat. That's more important when you're writing something that people are going to watch. It's almost like everything has to be in super fast, high speed all the time, as opposed to a book where, like I say, it's kind of like taking a warm bath. You slowly get in and you're comfortable, and yes, this is pretty interesting. This is good. I like this, but not too warm and too comfortable though. I like to have a lot of action in my books, but you can kind of slowly move in and kind of describe what's going on, who these people are, what they're seeing, kind of And that's another thing about a book. You have to kind of do that because the reader can't see what's in your head. And to a certain point, you want them to kind of add their own ideas in and use their own imagination, but you kind of have to really describe what's going on, who's in their life, how they're feeling that day when the book starts, what's taking place, how it relates to maybe something that happened in the past, why it's hitting them so hard, if it's good or bad or whatever. Whereas in a show, you just kind of jump in with both feet in the fire. And, you know, that's something, a learning curve for me, and I'm trying to think of everything and how do I show all these sides of my character? How do I grab people's interest? How do I kind of create a sense of what this is going to be about, what every episode would be about, what to expect? And I think that's important because I can think of one series I started watching, I was just floored by the first episode. I mean, it just pulled me in. I thought, wow, that's fantastic. That's just grabs you. It was very dramatic and captivated me. But then I started watching the show and I kind of lost interest. And not that there wasn't a similar element, but it just never quite met that first episode. And that's the challenge, though. It is a challenge to try to do that. So this is something I have to kind of contemplate as I'm writing. And I'm rambling again. I'm just 6 minutes in. I just can't stop talking. Long gone are the days where I was just sort of like trying to squeeze out a 2 or 3 minute video. Anyway, guys, so that's sort of interesting. I think it's really interesting, the sort of the vast differences between the two and what I am learning so far. I still have a ways to go. I'm watching, I think I might have mentioned before, Masterclass. I started following their videos online, or I joined. And there's some very fascinating speakers on there, very talented people. And man, it's just amazing what you can learn from them. And right now I'm watching Martin Scorsese. Oh yeah, that's a man that knows what he's doing. He's amazing. I watch Ron Howard. Anyways, I'm rambling again. The point is that if you're trying to do something like this, you have to kind of go out there, see who's been successful and why, and sort of learn what their process is or lack thereof. And the same thing if you're writing a book, and they're vastly different, very, very different. Anyways, guys, enough of this for today. We'll talk about this more in the future as I kind of go through this process. Subscribe somewhere around here. Hit the bell, get the videos, like them, share them, all that good stuff. Have a great day, guys.